have a way of pushing people out of their comfort zones. I'm
Good
smiling because my hand's shaking.
Okay, Karen, so we're talking about the rising star personality, right?
Yes.
And networking. So, what I'm wondering about is we don't have many rising stars at the moment taking the quiz or in the tribe. Do you think that rising stars are just scarce in general, or do you think they're busy doing something else, and not taking quizzes?
I'm inclined to think that that's probably more the reason. They haven't quite taken the quiz yet, more so than not having rising stars. I think there are quite a few around. But then again, maybe other people are just more structured than we are. I don't know. Maybe they don't hang around as many networking events. We'll find out, I suppose, as time goes on. I think the more people... I did have 2 people take the quiz, by the way, that I said. One was the Mighty Mentee, and also but wasn't a passion personality. And I'm waiting for one that is passion to give me the results. So yeah, no, but the passion people haven't done it yet. The other ones that have come back with other things that aren't passion. So I'm still trying to see if there's a correlation between the two.
That is super interesting. It's really interesting to hear. Okay. So I'm looking forward to hearing about the rest of the results.
Yes, I'll let you know as soon as I've got them all in.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karen. Okay, so on to networking then. Karen, at the moment we have a lot of newbies coming into the Explore Protect tribe. A lot of them are saying that they feel quite overwhelmed, like especially when they first get into the Facebook group and have to go through the guides and everything to get onboarded with everything. Do you have any like suggestions for them, or?
I'm gonna smile because I've been part of Explore Project now for how long? How long has it? It's been a long time. And
you're more than a year.
I don't know if I should say this live because I don't know if it's going to bode well, but I am still overwhelmed by the Facebook group as a rising star. There is a lot of things to get through, and being me, I don't often, I get very distracted and I don't get to it. So I would say do what you can, you know, when you are going onto your social media and that, go and have a look at it, go through it. When I set time aside and I really decide, right, I'm going to focus on it, what I would suggest they do is book off, even if it's 30 minutes, and say for the next 30 minutes, that's all I'm going to do, and get through as much as you can, only for 30 minutes a day. Then go on to the next thing. If you try and get through all of it, you're going to end up getting overwhelmed. You're going to end up spending time on that, not getting to your work. So just set your little calendar and be strict with yourself. Put there 30 minutes and let it count down. Then you know you've got 5 minutes left and you can really get thoroughly through what you can in that space. That's my suggestion. I've started doing that because for that exact reason. I find it very, very difficult to actually get done and do the modules.
That is really, really interesting, because I actually decided this week that what I'm going to do with my business is also do like a time allocation, because if I keep writing down to-do lists, I'm just writing forever. And I'm so ADD. I can write down the whole world in a freaking list and then tomorrow I do it again. But if I know that I need to spend time on content creation, I can literally be like, okay, well, let's do 30 minutes a day on content creation. And then 30 minutes a day on just talking to people on LinkedIn. And then 30 minutes a day. So I'm hoping that works better than actually having and it does take away some of the overwhelm, I feel.
Well, you've got a chalkboard behind you. I've just got a laminated sheet now, which gives me Monday to Friday. And I've got a normal diary as well, with my time slots. But in that section, I've really blocked out in different colors. So if it's ProTech, Explore ProTech is yellow because it's sunshine and makes me happy. So I've written in yellow. That's my ProTech color. If it's my coaching calls, that's in green. And I've blocked out every day what I'm doing for which one and how much time. And I'm trying to stick to it, because being as unstructured as we are is not helping either. So I've got to try and tap into my dormant detail. And I've done that, and it seems to be working better. So, but the allocation of the time is the trick. It's to actually do that block. You don't have to necessarily say you're going to do it from 9 to 9:30, but you can say between 9 and 11, these are the 2 things that I'm doing, or the 3 things, and then you do it in your, it's block booking basically. So that's working for me.
That's really interesting. I'm going to give it a try because, again, I like just like getting up and being like, let's just do this for the next 30 minutes. And then I'm like, oh, there's a tree. Let's go do that for 30 minutes.
It took me about 2 hours to actually just book the week. And it's regular stuff, like coffee shop conversations on a Friday at 1 o'clock, and whatever networking stuff we've got. It took me about 2 hours to actually color block them and stuff, which I really had to dig deep to do. But now that I've done it, if I walk into my office in the morning, I see it on the wall and I can decide what goes in, what activity I'm still doing in there, but I've booked that time aside.
I think that's really cool. I'm going to give it a go. Not promising that I'm going to be able to stick to the actual time allocation.
Well, mine's only been a week, just over a week now. So far, so good.
Wow, well done! High five! That's epic! Well done!
It's huge progress for me.
Yeah, I know, that's amazing. Karen, tell me, the other thing I want to know is, okay, since it's overwhelming, like, how much time do you actually allocate to networking in a certain week? Like, without having it take over your whole life?
Nestine, networking for me is where I get all my business from. So I actually have to prioritize it, because if I look back at, other than referrals that comes from clients that I've seen, obviously that's a different type of referral, but any new clients, new prospects that I'm working with, I have never ever had anything from social media. It's basically been networking. So I've had to prioritize. I spend probably at least, I'm including having, if I meet somebody in the tribe that I want to have a one-to-one with, I include that as well. So I'm spending every day, I'm networking every day on some level. So yeah, it's difficult to give hours. It just depends. Some weeks are busier than others, but I definitely try and allocate my time to the networking. If I don't see people, then I actually see the numbers decline. So very, very important for the way I do business.
That's very
Especially
interesting.
I also think in the coaching field, it is slightly different. Social media is not easy to get clients from that, because, you're coaching. So people sort of buy into you and trust you. They can't see that off a post on Facebook. So it might be different for other businesses. If you've got product-based businesses and stuff like that, it might be easier. But in my field, networking is the way to go.
Okay, so you basically take all your marketing time and just slot that into networking.
Yeah, very much so. What I'm starting to do now is to be more targeted. So with LinkedIn, engagement more than just, so it's not only networking like this or getting onto networking groups, but engaging in posts on LinkedIn and engaging in posts like in the groups that I belong to that are of interest to me, where parents are hanging out, actually listening to what people are saying, reading through it, and then responding to those is also part of networking for me. So, yeah. But again, like we said in our previous session, it's not necessarily the people within your networking group that you're going to do business with. If I look at our tribe, Explore ProTech, there's been leads and referrals that have come from Explore ProTech. Obviously, there's been a few people that have done my program as well, but it really, the networking part is getting to know each other so they can refer you on to other people. It's not really to try and sell to your tribe. It's about building the bond with your tribe so that they can refer you on to others.
Which brings me to an interesting next question that I have. So at the moment, we actually have a post in the Facebook group that you would not have seen.
Maybe I would have. What if it's about a book? I saw that.
Not that one.
I saw that.
Oh, awesome. You're in the book, by the way.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I know, you don't have a choice.
Thanks.
What I was wondering, so we have a post in there where people need to articulate who is their ideal client. Obviously, because if no one knows who your ideal client is, then they can love you to the moon and back. They're not going to be able to, recognize an opportunity for you when they see it. Yes. So in terms of articulating to someone else who is your ideal client, do you have any tips for us?
Are you talking in terms of your niche, like who your niche is, or for me, okay, let me tell you from my perspective as an ideal client. It would be the person that I had the biggest, when you walk away from a workshop that you've done, or in my case, a workshop, and I go, that was amazing on every level. The client, the shift that I needed them to get, those aha moments. For me, my ideal client is it's dependent on because my business is broken into different niche areas. So it depends on who I'm talking to. If I'm in the team space where I'm talking to someone I'm working with in teams, it's not teams that are conflicted. It's teams that are good already, that want to just be better, that want to improve their communication. It's HR managers would be an ideal target for me because that's within the team space. So it's really getting down to who is the person to speak to that's going to get you access to that client. In terms of the student market, the students don't pay, it's the parents. My ideal client is a mom, first of all, because it's 99 times out of 10, it's the moms that make the decisions. They discuss it with their husbands, but they're the ones that see it first. So my ideal, that would be moms. So I try and figure out, once I've worked with somebody that I find brilliant, where else can I find more of those kind of clients? So take it off past experience. If you're starting brand new, then I suppose trial and error. When I started, I did a lot of free work just to try and see where my niche was, to see where I was getting the best results from, and then started going more towards that market, because sometimes you think your ideal client is what what you think it is until you start working with them, and it can change. So for me, it's been working with the people, and then realizing that the best results I've had have been from that sort of client. I want to do more of that.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's just do an example so you can practice on me, so that because I want everyone in the tribe to be able to really articulate to us, like, who are we looking for you, because it's all about referrals and getting them that referrals. So if I was to be very vague and I tell you, like, our ideal client is anyone that wants to network. Well, anyone that's an entrepreneur that wants to network. Is that good enough for you to go and find me people that you can refer to us?
I don't think so, because not everybody, it depends on the business that they're in as well. Not everybody does networking. They probably should, but they don't. So where are you having the most success? Your people that are in your networking group now, that are still with you after so long, what are they doing? Are these entrepreneurs that are embracing what Explore Protect stands for? Are they bought into your core values? Those are the kind of people that you want to network with. So it's not just everybody, because there's a distinct difference between those that are ready to take action when they learn things and those that are just there, to be there. So for me, it would definitely be people that we are networking with already. That are in the tribe. It comes down to the core values of the group, Nestine. It comes down to what we stand for and what we all mean to each other, and that's the kind of environment that we want to create. That's not all people.
Yeah, that is true. So if I then tell you, like, it's entrepreneurs who need and want to be part of a supportive group of other entrepreneurs that can find business for each other.
Yes, but they need to have the same thing of you're in this to build relationships, like we say, not to the business will come. Because if you're coming in there just to find business and that's all you're going to do, you're not going to last in the networking space, because people are not going to trust you. They're not going to know you. You're just there for yourself. So immediately you need to make sure that the people that are coming in understand that, this isn't about just coming in there and trying to, we've had people, I'm not mentioning any names on here, but we've had people that have been at the networking events that have actually just come there to see what they can gain. And the minute we've tried to engage further than that, if it didn't serve them, they basically just blanked us. So that's not the kind of people that we want to work with either. So you've got to be very clear about what kind of tribe ethos we have, and not in this network only, in any network that you belong to. You've got to make sure that you are, in the same space and giving and having that type of attitude. There are other loads of networking events out there, loads and loads and loads. And trust me, because I know my business comes from networking, I've been to a lot of them, and a lot of them have been fleeting in and out. Thank you very much. Goodbye. You get a sense of feeling. You get a sense of you know what you're looking for once you found it.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm just gonna tell people, like, go and find us more Karens. Like, I wrote a blog post about her. It's 300 words. Read it. Go find more of her.
I think all of us, though, I mean, even the best friends, the mentees, we all bring certain things, but our core values are all the same, aren't they?
Yeah.
Can empower and help one another. And it doesn't matter whether it is somebody asking for, can you donate a loaf of bread somewhere? It's got nothing to do with your business. It's like we're all in there for the same reason. How can we help? That's more what I think, especially with this tribe, more than any other tribe that I've belonged to, I have to tell you, it really is an attitude of how can we help each other. And through that, the business comes. So that's definitely, and I've also learned that through the tribe. I've been with you guys long enough to have learned that it's definitely, you can pick up the people that are going to make it in the tribe and are going to stick by and stay, and you can pick up those that come in and leave straight away. It's like when they go, you can see it.
Yeah. It's very interesting though, because sometimes like when they're still on the outside, like you don't see it that clearly, but then when they're in, you can immediately kind of see exactly like how real is the wanting to be friends and build relationships and have coffees and actually care about your fellow human beings. Exactly. It's interesting because that's exactly what Peter was talking about last night at Tribe Tea Time. It was reminding us of like we started this whole business with the saving the global economy one small business at a time, and that's really what kind of embodies the spirit of the tribe. That's what we're here for. We're saving one entrepreneur at a time. So if you need saving, then, or if you want to help save, then you're one of our people.
And saving doesn't necessarily mean saving can just be a kind word. You just need that motivation for the day to get up and do today, because sometimes, what happened to me before I got onto this call? It's like, I'm so frustrated because I've spent time doing what I absolutely hate doing, and I did it, and the whole document was gone. I was like,
and you've done it twice now, actually. You hate doing
time.
It, and you've done it twice. Shall we go for a third time, Karen?
No, I got to pick up the lesson in this somewhere. But then I've come into something like this. If I didn't have this right now to distract me, it would have probably derailed my entire afternoon and evening. By the time I'm finished with this, I'm going to be all up and vibed again. I can do this again.
Brilliant. And Casey just walked into the room.
Peter, I have to say, tea time with the tribe, I think I missed that one last night as well. I forgot.
Peter, are you actually going to join the live?
I'm going to come join you now.
Okay. He looks like he's going snorkeling.
Oh, you're going snorkeling?
You can paint, yeah.
Oh, because we need to interrogate you as well. Linda's on her way.
Oh, great stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So Tribe Tea Time, Karen, is every yesterday, what was it, Wednesday at 6. Yeah, just from 6 to 7, we hop in, we get to know the new members in the tribe. Have you met Megan?
No, I haven't met Megan.
You have to meet Megan. She's, you can see who's going to make it in the tribe.
Oh, awesome. I'm sure I was one of the people that suggested that as a really important thing to do, and then I didn't pitch up. So I'm telling you, I didn't write it down in my diary.
We actually changed the whole tribe training because of what you said last Thursday. We changed it to Tribe Tea Time.
And I never put that in my diary.
It's fine.
It's going on there now. This rising star. That's probably why there aren't many of us, because most people are more organized.
Well, if there were more of us in the tribe, then maybe everyone would be even more overwhelmed.
I saw Marlon's request, detail-oriented project man, what he was looking for, and I thought, wow, that's exactly what he needs, because that's what I need. So when I saw his spec, copy paste. When it's my turn, I'm sending this out.
I was looking at that thing. I was like, Marlon, if you find one of these people, I am poaching them.
Yeah. It was exactly what we need.
Yeah, and I was thinking of you at the same time. I was like, yeah, Karen's going to get this. She's going to notice.
I did too, hey?
Oh, fun. So, Karen, what I want to talk about next is getting your input. So, coming from the being overwhelmed with networking and the amount of time that you actually have to put into it in order to make it work, do you think that it's more effective to network in a group and get to know the tribe in a group and then go off and do your one-on-ones from there? Or is it more effective to kind of just go with the one-on-one straight away?
I think it's a combination of both for me. You know, in a group setting, there's certain people you resonate with immediately. Those people, you know, every time you go into the group, there's certain commonalities that you have. And so it just makes it easy. And, you know, you can chat to the people and then everyone else gets to know you within the group because you're chatting to the people that you resonate with. From there, if there's people that say things that pique your interest that you think could benefit, then go and do your one-to-ones, but they already know you from being within the group. So it takes away a little bit of pressure where, you know, you're just phoning out the blue. If you're not all rising stars, we don't have a problem with that, Nestine. I mean, I phoned you just hearing your voice. So, you know, we don't have a problem with that, but other people might. So I think the group setting is a very nice way to break the ice and get to know one another before you go into the one-to-ones. Yeah,
Oh, that is an interesting, that is very interesting. Because I was thinking about like, because someone even suggested last night, maybe we should have like another tea time in the week. And I'm like, people are already struggling just to commit to the 2 hours. So the 1 hour coffee shop show and the 1 hour of tribe tea time. Do we now have another one for people? Like, how many hours of group networking a week do you think is enough? And how much is too little?
Yeah, I think it's a very, very personal choice for people. You know, it's difficult to say because like tea time last night, I didn't make it. I should have been there, and I'm going to be at the next one. But there's certain things that, yeah, you've got businesses to run, families, kids. It's difficult,
Yeah,
you know.
it's a fine balance.
That's it. And the one-on-ones are nice because it's when the two of you can make it. It's just two people to consider. So it can be 9 o'clock in the morning if it's easy, or 7 o'clock at night. The team training, you've got to consider everybody. So if you add another one of those, you know, you might not have as full capacity because this, you know, people do whatever they can. So I don't know if that's necessarily going to be a good idea to do it. Because it's going to create, just another event for somebody to come to. Whereas if you've got the one get together, everyone knows it's there. We can all come to that. We then go to the coffee shop and then we've got time to do the other things. Another nice idea though is to create power teams. So if you've got people that are branding and that kind of coaching, you can have power team meetings where you can get together and collaborate and try and figure out how you can, you know, work together, where you've got somebody that I do my program and then I've got a Caradine that does graphic design. And she can come along and put together people's new logos and stuff once they've decided they want to do, you know. So there are definitely power teams that we can create within the groups. And those can be separate meetings then so that we can just be specific of what we're doing for one another. The coaches, like leadership coaches, you know, leadership, there's different types of leadership. So Stephen and I can collaborate. There's the mindful coaches like Maggie and the people that do that kind of thing. You know, they can also get together in power teams because that might be more beneficial than a whole bunch of us all getting on and we're all in different industries. So I think that's a nice option to look at. There's certain people that I would love to collaborate with in the tribe if I know more about them and what they do and how we can fit together. But we need to, you know, that's just a suggestion to put out there and see who wants to collaborate on that level.
That is an epic suggestion. I am loving these chats with you. Now, my next question. If I create these power teams, will you be at the meeting?
Yes, I will. If there's enough advance notice, it's true. And it must be structured because it's not a coffee shop meeting then. It's a real, we need to have, what do we want to get out of it? It's not just a chit chat. That's our tea time tribe. If we're getting together to do real best, like power tribe meetings of how we can do things, we need to talk about exactly that. You know, that's what we're there to do. So we're not wasting time. We've got other platforms to get to know one another. This is actually now, what can we do to help each other or collaborate together? Or if I say, look, guys, you know, I'm part of this section, who now can help me with the next section? You know, like I say, with Caradine or whoever, or people that now learn their fascination advantages and they learn how to communicate that, they now want to go and put that into their social media, but they don't do social media. So it's a great platform to actually collaborate with somebody in social media and say, right, I'll do this section, you offer them social media for a month, and we put it into our programs or whatever. There's a lot we can do when we focused. And this is the time that we have, this is what's on the agenda, and this is the outcome that we want to get. It's going to happen very... And especially with people like us, rising stars and passion personalities, because we very easily go off the topic and we'll end up spending half an hour talking about the color of the jersey we were wearing instead of actually this is what we need to do.
like Stephen Levy, in other words,
Yeah.
needs to run these meetings.
keep us on track somehow, that we actually don't veer off, and we come out with what we intended to achieve in that hour or whatever, how long we allocate to it.
So how would the structure of this meeting look, do you think? I know we're just brainstorming, so
yeah, I don't know. It's to see who does what, first of all. I mean, there's a lot of new tribe members that are in, that we've seen brief introductions, but I'm still not quite sure. Maybe we must look at the power teams first. What areas? So whether it's leadership, branding, I'm just thinking off the cuff, what other sort of power teams we can create, and then who within the tribe would fit into which power team, and then we can talk about agendas and how we're going to do it. Let's actually try and brainstorm what categories we could have, so that we can really have, I think targeted groups.
I really like that. I think that's epic. That's a really cool idea. But then now, if we're looking at, say you attend one power team meeting, right? And it's an hour, and one tea time and one coffee shop show. So that's like 3 hours for the week already. Do you think that is too much time, just enough time, or too little time?
Well, if I can't make if I'm having a week where I'm particularly busy, I might not make the coffee shop show. I will go to the power meeting because that's specific to this, or I might miss the tribe tea for that night and then do, people can still choose. It would be great to be part of all of them, but it's a choice. It depends on how busy your schedules are. There's some days that I can make everything, and there's other weeks where I can barely make anything. So it's going to depend on our own schedules and what's important to us. I generally try and make the coffee shop show, just because it's a lot more tribe members coming on now as well. And I sometimes don't speak all the time. It's just nice to listen. And when you're on the Zoom call, especially, you get to really be interactive with them. So it's not necessarily to speak. It's just to be part and to hear other people's point of view and to learn, because there's things you learn from everybody. I mean, I learn all the time. There's certain things I know that I think I know, and somebody will just say one word and it's like, oh, wow, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
For me, there's a lot more. Yeah, there's a lot that you get out of it.
That's another interesting area to explore. So networking whilst doing something else. How do you feel about those types of engagements? So that's kind of why we created the coffee shop show, because you're networking, but at the same time, you're also promoting your business. At the same time, you also get to talk to the people behind the scenes. At the same time, you also, you're kind of covering a lot of different areas in the same go, where something like Tribe Tea Time is literally just to chat and get to know people.
Yeah. You know what I like about the coffee shop shows and things is that you can speak when you've got something that you feel, you can add value on. And if you don't, you're still learning and you're still part of it. Whereas sometimes when you go in with just a agenda of, I've got to speak now, I've got to do all of this, there's a lot of pressure on you. So for the new people, I mean, I've been doing this with you guys for a long time. So when you said to me, introduce the show now, it's like, what? I'm going to introduce the show. That was my reaction, right? Yes, confident rising star can talk about anything. Now I'm going, oh no, this is now formulated. Now I've got to have a structure to introduce. I don't want to do it anymore. I like to just talk off the cuff. So there's that pressure that's taken away as a new person. This is a really nice way for them to actually get comfortable. Starting to network and getting to know people. And if you've got something that you want to say, you put your hand up. If you don't, it's okay. You can just sit and laugh and, make jokes and get in where you want. You don't always have to be marketing or, So that's why I like that format very much. I love the coffee shop shows.
Awesome. Okay, cool. It's so interesting to have this conversation with you. I think it's very interesting for all the new tribe mates as well, and very useful. So I'm sure all of them are watching.
The new tribe mates must remember we've been doing this for a while, and we've got a very close bond because we've made the efforts to get to know each other. We've come to the parties, we've come to the, the social things. We've been at tribe trainings. We've done all of that. So it takes time. You're not just going to pop in and you'll see the dynamics between us, and it could be intimidating to some because, you get in there and you just all know each other, and the new people might feel a little bit left out. It's not that they're left out at all. It's just going to take time, but you need to show up. You need to be there, and you need to put your hand up whether you want to, or even if it's to joke, whatever it is. We're not all expecting these pearls of wisdom. I mean, a lot of the time we talk rubbish.
Complete rubbish.
Yeah, and it's fun. So it's not always about, if you think about going back to the first time I put myself on camera, there was this sort of perfection, you had to say the right thing and do the right thing. And it's like the more you do it, the more you realize that people just want authenticity. And if that is just cracking a joke in the middle of whatever you're doing, then that's just who you are. So show people that side of you.
It's really cool. The other thing I wanted to know was, now I forget. Speaking about being authentic.
Let me ask you a question.
No, but I have so many questions for you. This is like real, like Karen time. What's the question?
I want to ask you a question though. What do you feel at this stage is the biggest issue with engagement from your tribe members? What are you finding as they're coming in? Because you're obviously the one that's inviting and getting them all into the group. Where are you finding that they're struggling? Because I only see them coming in and I meet the new people that we resonate with. But what are the actual challenges that the new people are having?
That's an easy question.
Okay.
The answer to that is they're battling to find their footing as to where they fit. And I think that's purely based on because the space we have is quite a free space. It's not a very structured space. It's very free. Obviously, all of the originals all know each other very well. And when a new person comes into that space, it's where do they fit in? And do they have the right to actually just reach out and ask for a coffee, or or are the people that are already in the tribe going to reach out to them and just go, hey, can we have a coffee? Or so. I think that we're battling with the dynamic of getting new people to actually push in to that way of thinking of they can actually just go, hey, do you have time for a coffee?
And then at the same time, the thing I'm struggling with is, how can you battle with that? What's wrong with you? Karen did it. It's fine.
Right, in saying that, Nestine, there's a lot of new people that I, as an existing tribe member, have not reached out to. So maybe we should start a challenge. We've got challenges that seem to be working. Why don't we start a challenge to see how many new people we can do one-on-ones with and actually get to know, and do some sort of, I don't know, something that keeps us to actually think about doing it. Make it something where it's fun, and actually see how we can reach out and
I think
do
with
something.
a new person,
I love that.
With a new person, if there's somebody in the group that's reaching out to them and communicating with them and them communicating back, when they then step into the sort of team dynamic, or that it's easier to fit in, because it's almost like going to a party. Like, do you walk into a party on your own, or do you take people with you that make you feel a little bit more comfortable when you go? It's just human nature. It's how human nature works. Generally when you go to a party, you go with a group of friends. You don't generally walk in on your own unless you know
somebody that's there already and you're meeting people.
I also don't mind walking in by myself.
But the general rule of thumb for human nature is that people like to feel comfortable. If there's somebody that they're already talking to one-on-one and they're forming a bit of a bond with, when you put them in the group dynamic, they feel more comfortable.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
So it's kind of getting them to integrate.
But I think the onus is on all of us to do that. It's beneficial for me to also get to know the new tribe members. It's just we haven't prioritized that. And that's why I'm thinking if we do a challenge, or it's just something fun where you can say, let's see how many we can do and everyone engage in it, then maybe that way it'll create more of a
and the person that wins can get an Annalie.
Is that the jewelry?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, nice.
It's actually the same in most situations. I found that the best way for me to grow my clientele, because in my previous job, growing clientele was very difficult, and that particular arena, it thrived at nighttime. It's a nighttime venue. To create a daytime clientele is very difficult. So I found that the best way to actually do that, it was not only to give good service to each individual, it was to give good service and keep introducing them to each other. And the more they know each other, the more they want to come and be there during that time when it's not really supposed to be the busiest time. And in doing so, created an entire daytime clientele because they felt comfortable. They had friends that were there, acquaintances that were there, people that even if you just introduce them by name so that when they greet each other, they know each other. Who doesn't want to walk into a space and somebody goes, hey, John, how are you doing? How's it going, John? Take a seat, John. You feel comfortable. So there's that dynamic, and it works.
Definitely.
Megan actually suggested that we maybe have like a buddy system where you, like, as soon as you come into the tribe, you get a buddy, and that is the person that you can talk to, ask questions, like.
Well, that's why I thought these power things would also be nice, because if you're with somebody that's in your space that you can already start to find synergy with, you know, you are doing it to a degree with introducing people by email and saying you should have coffee with these people. But maybe to actually form those groups and say to them, right, you know, let's get to know each other quickly, and actually make that the challenge then. You've been introduced to these people, because if you ask me how many I've met with, and I'm going to authentically drop the ball here, I haven't really reached out to them. The ones that I have, there's been one that I reached out to, and then I think 2 reached out to me, but there's a whole bunch more that I haven't. So it's because you see it, you realize it's important, but you get bogged down with other stuff. And before you know it, me can't find the email, forgot about it, it's already been, you know, it's the way it is. If it's not prioritized immediately, then it tends to slip through the cracks. And I think that's probably one of the major issues. It's just that we're not prioritizing it. And it's not, oh, here's a new person. Okay, I'll get you when I can. It's actually, wow, here's a new person. I really need to get to know that person, because both of us can help each other, especially if we're in a sphere where, like a context sphere where we can work together, or we can refer easily because we understand each other's businesses. Yeah. So it is important that you get to know not just the people, but also what they do. You know, what is it that they do? You know, I said now, Annalie, I remember the jewelry. But if you ask me different tribe members, there's a lot of new people. I have no idea what they do. And I'm being honest, it's been introduced, I've seen it, but because I've only seen it once, it's not something that I've retained, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult. So we really need to make an effort, not just everybody that's coming in. We're in the group for a reason. We're in here to network. What is networking? Getting to know each other. So the more we figure out how to do that, the more successful all of us are going to be. Otherwise, we're just going to be in this group sending little pictures on a wire, you know, and it's actually more, it's so much more that we can get from all of this.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. What you're touching on now is actually something that we touched on last night was, I mean, within the group, we have so many different people and so many different characters and so many different professionals in different arenas. And with all of that put together, the amount that we can achieve together has impact. So
absolutely.
something that may seem very small for us, like somebody's in need, and maybe Stephen Westwood puts in the right word, and maybe Stephen Levy says you need a little bit of structure. Maybe you step in and you go, well, your communication, you know, from this aspect, you need to communicate this more clearly, or although those things, every individual is a very small thing to give, as a whole, it has a huge impact, and we're actually changing people's lives. That's the bottom line. The bottom line is that this coffee shop was created as a safe, comfortable, relaxing space where people can grow. And it's what people need right now. So, and we have it.
Yeah, we do. I was stuck with a name for my new program. And who did I reach out to? Stephen Westwood. I sent him a voice note. He's sitting in the UK. And I sent him a voice note. I said, listen, this is the name that I don't want to use those words though. And between us, we came up with Magnify Your Magic. Now, that's become the whole program for me, but it's even the whole way that I'm approaching it because of the magic side of it. You know, it's allowed me to really get creative. And if it wasn't for a little chat to Stephen, it took us about 2 minutes, and it's changed the whole structure of how I'm doing my next course based on Magnify Your Magic. And that was a telephone call because I've seen Stephen, we've gotten to know each other. It was a quick voice note. Stephen, I need your brain. I need your help. This is what I've come up with. Add this to it. So there's definitely, I mean, and talking about Stephen Levy as well, you know, me telling him I'm anarchy when I'm in chaos because that's what I do. And he's saying, all right, a little bit of structure here. It was just advice that's free. It's just like, here you go, you know, let me help you. And me giving back as well, the same thing. I mean, I hear people talking about their businesses and I want to say, who cares about your product? I don't care whether you're selling that or you're selling who are you? Why are you not selling? Why we should choose you, not the product. Natural that I will say, the more I speak to people, like, okay, just change the way you said that. And then I, you know, it's, there's so much that we can give, which is just even in the coffee shop shows on a Friday, all those little tips I get from all the leaders and the coaches that are on there, it's incredible. So
Yeah, and to somebody that's
That's-
battling, to somebody that is out there that is battling
And alone.
and alone, that is a huge deal.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had someone this morning. I mean, I'm not a mindset coach. I do mindset on myself. I do a lot of my own work,
Stephen
but-
Westwood is a mindset coach.
But I had somebody this morning that reached out to me and just having a crappy morning. And it was just so nice to say, you know what? Go and do this for 5 minutes and then message me back and tell me if it's changed, whatever it may be. Having that, because we're all entrepreneurs, we all at different stages go through the same teething pains, don't we?
Yes.
On some level or another. So somebody in the tribe will always have either done it, tried it, or supporting you, want to do it, where you can say, don't do it that way. It's not just about getting business. It's about helping you in your business, be able to make your business more functional.
Yeah.
If you want to go to the point where you need to actually take the services of those people, then you can take it the next step. But there's a lot of advice and a lot of help that comes just from being part of the group if you tap into it. So the onus is on you. I think anyone joining the tribe needs to realize this is not you come in here and you just sit back and watch everything fall into your lap. It's like Steve says, it's called network for a reason, not is play in it. Put in the time. Put in the time to get to know people and put in the time to help others, and then it'll definitely make an impact. If you're just going to sit in the tribe and watch the things in the coffee shop and look at the notifications, you're going to wonder after a month or two, well, maybe I shouldn't be.
Why am I here?
That's not because the tribe doesn't work. It's because you're not working the tribe. You're not working what we need to do. And that's on you to do. We can show, you have to be present. You have to be present. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
And presence is everything. Presence is pitching up, not everything, but whatever you can. If you can come to a coffee shop conversation on a Friday, if you can have a one-to-one with somebody, if you can go and do your tea tribe, or, there might be, whatever it is, you have to be present.
Sure.
I love
Otherwise,
that.
no one's going to get to know you. Yeah.
Thank you, Karen. I'm going to totally just steal that snippet and put it on YouTube and give it to every single new tribe member to watch and be like, there you go.
I think that should be from the get-go, before they even start up. Guys, this is the one thing that everyone that is successful in this tribe has got in common. We interact, we show up, we are present. It's not going to fall to you. It's up to everybody to actually make the effort to do it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen. This has been an epic conversation. I have so many more questions for you, but luckily we get the whole of you back next week. Then I will ask you all of them. But this has been absolutely fabulous and so insightful. Thank you so much.
Can I ask you a question? For those members that are in the tribe, where do we get like a list of, what their businesses are or what they do? If you do that introduction on email, but if I, for instance, now want to say, I'm going to start meeting with people on a one-on-one basis within the tribe, where do I find that information to actually reach out to them?
So on the Facebook group, in the guide section, the very first post, activity 1, is introduce yourself.
Okay, so all of those should be in there.
Yeah, so in there you'll literally find every single person's little introduction. And some of them write paragraphs, some of them just say, this is me, this is what I do, this is where I'm from. But like Megan, for example, has like a whole book in there. on what she does, so you can read all of it.
I think we must maybe just post in the coffee shop group as well to remind people to go and look. Go and say, challenge them to go and actually meet, even if for the next week before we come back on Thursday, I'm going to challenge myself to meet with 3 people by next Thursday.
Am I one of them?
That is awesome!
I'll have coffee with you as a 4th.
Just showing off.
Real coffee. But I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to challenge myself. If there's anyone else that's listening that wants to do it, let's actually try and get to know each other. So expect a call from me, 3 people. I can't tell you who it's going to be yet. Go look, but I'm going to, and I actually want to get to know them on a one-on-one basis and chat and just see, if possible.
Awesome! I'm going to snip this and challenge the tribe. Thank you, Karen.
Let's do that. Just tell
I'm
them where
going
to find it in the group, so we just refresh our memories, and let's reach out and see what we can do. See if we can.
Amazing! I love it.
So the challenge is on.
The challenge is on. Thank you so much, Karen. That was beautiful.
Thank you for having me. It's really a nice show. It's lovely to talk about it and, also get ideas from other people. Like Stephen's not here today. It's his birthday.
It's his birthday and he's sick. He gets all the fancy
Oh.
viruses. It's a neuro something, but basically,
shame.
yeah.
I was hoping to wish
nothing
him.
neurological.
It's not neurological, but it starts with neuro.
It starts with an N.
And it ends with virus. I don't know what it is.
Well, as long as he's
Neurological.
okay. Sending you lots of love, Stephen.
Yeah, we love
On
you,
your
Stephen.
birthday.
Happy birthday,
Very much.
friend. Okay, cool. Guys, if you've been watching on Facebook and YouTube, this has been awesome. I hope you got so much insight from that. If you do have any questions, drop them in the comments for us. We will get to them next week. Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.